Welcome, everybody. Welcome to When in Rome. I am your host, Michael Odin, now Jojo Belisarius, with my co-host Matt Krotz.
Yep. How y'all doing? It's been a couple weeks. I'm very glad to be back in the co-host seat. Excited for tonight.
You see this nonsense? Corey Barton's in our chat and is like the first person here. I put this on the fact that Corey became the butt of the joke during Vive l'Empereur. The last Vive l'Empereur episode that we did, Corey showed up at the very end, and Aldous and I were like, that's our cue. Good night, everybody. And ended the show, and it was perfect. I need to clip that. That was friggin' awesome.
Thanks for being a good sport, Corey.
Yes. Corey's good people. He's like, come on, just start the show. It was important work that we had to do. I'm gonna have you work up another one of these for Aurelian. This turned out so great. Like, hold on, I'm gonna put this up real quick. Look at this glorious bastard.
Gaze upon it.
Look at this JoJo style Belisarius.
It's in the head turn, you know? It's in the extra head cock kind of thing going on. I think there's some JoJo in there.
Oh, 100%. Like this is great. I love it. We gotta get it done right for Aurelian. Like, I really want him to have that like Rome 2 Total War face mask. Sol Invictus helmet. Goodness
we'll
gracious.
Make it happen.
So it's been 3 weeks since we've done a show together?
It's been 3 weeks. It's been 3 weeks. Yeah.
Jeez, oh flip. I went and I did one we were supposed to do one last Friday.
Yes, we were.
Somebody was like, I'm not gonna check my phone.
Yeah, I was in the middle of being murdered at a murder mystery dinner, and it turns out trying to schedule a live stream after a murder mystery dinner, that's not advisable, apparently. I thought I'd be just in and out, gunshot wound to the head. I'm laying on the ground. They do the tape around me, and then I'm home in an hour. But apparently people got to sit around and argue about who did it. For two.
Did they catch who done it?
Yeah, it was the guy I did the I came up with his cover, and he didn't know he was killing me. So we were just good buds. I was just he was in trouble with his girlfriend, and so I covered for him, and I said he had some bad tacos. Turns out he was planning on murdering me all night. Which he found out later. So
what a dick.
As you do. How these things go.
Tonight's show, we've got a fun video. Last week, Matt, I'm not sure if you caught the replay, but we watched a fantastic video Invicta did about medals of honor for the Roman military.
I hate that I missed that.
It was a really fun show. We didn't finish the entire video, but where we cut the video off was when they were getting to the awards that would be given to the legions, and there's some cool ones in there, but sure. I felt the really interesting stuff was the personal awards and stuff like that. But we might go revisit that video later. Tonight, we have a fantastic video called "The Wild World of Roman Jobs."
Love it.
It's done by Casual Lectures. The video is very funny. It also has a hilarious thumbnail, and we now have a new brand thing that I'm going to be using before we play our videos. That's done by a friend of the channel, Septimius Nicotinius.
He's a great memer.
He is. He really is just stellar at that. So before we get started on that, let's intro our video properly.
Anyways, here's Wonderwall.
I need to get better at this whole transition thing. We'll get it someday. Like it.
Yeah.
The unfortunate thing is that I am doing this from my government laptop, that from my work, and it doesn't like any of the stuff.
Yeah. The internet-y things.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like StreamYard works on there and what have you. But like my personal laptop is getting repaired right now, so I'm kind of left with no choice. I'm doing a lot, like all my stuff from my Go laptop, and I'm not happy about it. But anyways, here's Wonderwall.
Ancient Rome was a multi-ethnic society with a large population that required a broad spectrum of jobs to sustain its economy. However, choosing their career was not always an option for the general people. This was only possible for people with higher status or inherited roles, prestigious professions, military leadership, and political.
So I know that this sounds like it's going to be like a very boring video, but there are going to be some very wild jobs that show up in here. Like in the thumbnail video, just to give you guys an idea, we had displayed were Orgy Planner and Dwarf Salesman. So just to give you an idea, we're gonna have some fun with this.
It's good foretaste.
Political administration were reserved for the Roman upper class, whereas ordinary people were involved in various jobs. Moreover, the Roman Empire depended on slaves, and any wealthy person could keep as many as 500 slaves. The slaves were controlled such that they had to...
It's nice that they had a cap. You know?
Yeah, that's new to me. 500.
As many as 500 slaves. Like, well, I mean, at least there was a cap. It was like, no more than 500 people. Let's be real. 500 slaves, it's a bit ostentatious. Let's not go above that. We have some principles.
To partake in challenging, unpleasant works of low esteem. The typical jobs were farming, construction, and domestic services, and educated slaves could work in medicine, teaching, accounting, and artists. Some jobs, however, like the Orgy Planner or Urine Collector, were bizarre even to the...
That's right. You heard it correct. Urine Collector.
Slaves. So today we will take a look at the weird Roman job. The weirder a job is, the higher it is ranked on the list, while more normal jobs are ranked lower.
Michael helps turn your ideas into I did it.
I literally watched an ad right before this thing, right before we went live, so we wouldn't have to deal with that.
Let's start off the F tier with a job that actually still exists today, even though it may have changed slightly. Just like our astrologists who try to predict your future by your zodiac sign or tarot cards, the ancient...
In other words, scam artists have existed since the dawn of time as well. Congratulations, world's third oldest profession.
Romans had their own version of that profession.
You're a Gemini, you probably experienced deja vu, the feeling that this moment has happened before. And you also experienced deja vu, the feeling that this moment has happened before.
The Polarius were chicken interpreters who told the fortune of military campaigns based on how chickens ate, instead of being tasked with taking care of more...
Because that is what determines the outcome of a battle. Did the chickens eat well this morning, Matt? Did the chickens eat well?
Yeah. We both of us know of. Yeah, there's a story about tossing chickens off a boat because they weren't predicting well enough. So they've had their there have been interesting chapters in history about chickens eating or not eating.
Corey, because you've been like the first one to the stream twice in a row, next week we're going to do a Babes of Rome special. Although we are going to get to an orgy planner on this, so there's clearly going to be some boobage tonight. JP7 Johnny Cage is in the chat. You need to make sure your cock is healthy before battle. I mean, fair enough.
Oh, there's the tie-in.
Yep. we have just assimilated double entendres. Come on, guys. Anyways.
Regal birds like eagles or owls, the Polarius had to take care of sacred military chickens. Sacred military chickens. One of the strongest empires in history literally had chickens that were relied on to tell whether a battle would go well or not for the Roman army. Before a battle, a Polarius would release the chickens and throw corn on the ground. If the chickens ate, all was well. If they ate so messily they dropped kernels, even better. If they didn't eat, oh no. If they refused to come out...
I feel like we need B-rows for this. There's a lot of
Well, we
chicken.
tried that before, but yeah, it would be nice to have.
I was too mean, apparently. That's too much of a dick.
Some deep lore there.
That's the weirdest thing for me is like, I was too much of a dick? How did that end up happening?
Yeah.
Out of their cages, you may as well send everyone home. There even is a story about one Roman fleet commander who was so impatient with the poor birds, who were understandably dizzy from sailing, not wanting to come out of their cage, that he threw them overboard. He lost the battle and was scolded for drowning his...
How dare you drown the chickens? That's clearly
Well, you lost the battle. Yeah.
We clearly lost the battle because you drowned the chickens and not because we have no experience with naval warfare. It had to be the chickens.
Fleet's sacred war chickens. I think this profession perfectly defines the F tier. It is somewhat strange, but considering that we still do the same thing today, it's kind of normal, at least for this.
I don't know if you can qualify keeping up with the sacred chickens as something that we do today. Yes, we have astrologists who are hacks. So like in that way, you know, telling me what I should expect from my year as a Cancer is dumb. But
yeah, but even that's like, it's not even dependent on the actual sky, right? Like I heard that the zodiac's actually shifted a little bit.
Been joined by an arrogant.
Oh, great!
Ape. My goodness.
Welcome. Long time no see.
Look, we're gonna have to honor this ape with our new little brand thing that we got from our new friend of the channel.
Anyways, here's Wonderwall.
I will play that thing all day. I freaking love that silly damn clip. Anyways,
yeah.
There's an octopus who protects FIFA champions. I'm sure. Rip Octopus Paul. Corey Barton says you should do a show on how Berserk ties into actual history. It doesn't really tie into actual history, but the basis of the Golden Age is very much built upon the history of the 100 Years' War.
Yeah,
Midland and Shooter are very obviously France and England.
Yeah.
But anyways, part 2. What's your name again? I feel like we're about to play a Blink-182 song in Latin or some shit. We'll find out.
We all know it and we all hate it. You are at a party and someone approaches you, but damn, you forgot their name, which could result in embarrassment. Sucks.
Dude, if that's what this occupation is, I would kill to have this. Just have
are you good with names?
Dude that follows me around with a list of people that are in my freaking like a address book, and just feel like, oh, that's this guy, and I just go, oh man, thank fucking God, I haven't seen him in like 3 weeks. I had no idea of like I know who he is, but I just don't know his name. Oh
yeah, very relatable.
The Romans were perfectly prepared for such a situation. The Roman profession of name caller or nomenclator had one simple task: to remember everyone's name at a party or other event. As efficient.
Yo, that is the best. That is the cool. Like, that is the most efficient job on the face of the planet. For real, I feel like I need like I have people in my phone contacts where I just look at it as like, who the fuck is this? Like,
Yeah, we got to bring this back. Let's return for this.
This is a job I feel like actually has some practical application. Hey, can you memorize like 2 million names? Sure.
As the Romans were, they had a backup for not remembering people's names at gatherings and parties, saving themselves from embarrassment. When people would approach their masters, the nomenclator.
So really quickly, Corey, I'm not going to lie to you. It's not personal. It's that I really suck at YouTube. And I would give you a wrench if I knew how to do it in the stream. And please don't try and go and explain this in the comments. We've done that before. It'll take 20 minutes, and I'm not going to do it. I'm just going to be honest with you. I am absolutely terrible at this platform, and it's okay. But yes, Ape has a wrench. It's a monkey wrench, Corey. It just makes sense. You see? Yeah. And that's why he gets a wrench. Because of stuff like this. He is a wise ape. We continue.
Nomenclator would loudly announce the name of whoever would come, saving a deadly social embarrassment. What sounds like a funny party gimmick at first was actually also a crucial political instrument.
Oh, dude, absolutely.
Would be
like modern politicians. Like, if we brought this back, they'd be the most valuable fucking position in the face of the planet.
There's probably someone who's doing this. You know, I'm starting to think if it's about a lesser of someone of lesser rank entering the room, and then like a secretary explaining who that person is to the person of higher rank, that's probably happening, don't you think?
Probably.
They're just not announcing it.
By their
they're just unpaid now and called interns.
Yeah.
Who prevented any embarrassment for the
intern.
candidate.
Who is that?
Whenever someone would approach the candidates in a friendly or personal manner, they would ensure the candidate by calling out the approaching person's name out loud. That's why this job is in F tier, since it isn't really weird, but rather unique.
I mean, yes, it's not weird, it's more unique, but like, that has got to be the most useful freaking job that I've ever heard of. And I'm like, man, I would actually greatly appreciate that job.
What if you actually remembered the guy's name? He's coming up to you, he's saying hi, he's being all buddy, and then across the room there's the name guy who just shouts it out, so that like that's Mike who's saying hi to you, so that you like, wouldn't that be a little annoying? You're like, I got this. Like I do know Mike.
That would be the whole thing, is you don't approach the person. Like what would happen is you see somebody across the room and you go, oh man, I know who that is. I can't remember their name. And so then you would avoid that person and go to the name guy and be like, okay, I need your help, because like, for the love
you just ask the name guy straight up.
Exactly. Like that's what they were saying. This guy goes around and he just knows everyone at the party. And so if you're about to bump into somebody and you go, shit, I have no idea what that person's name is, and I should, you find the name guy, and the name guy goes, I got you, fam. That's Linquinius Curtius.
Okay, that is good. So long as he's hanging out by the punch bowl or something.
Your birthday last year, and you go, oh shit, that guy's dope.
Yeah.
The chat is arguing over wrenches.
The last candidate for the F tier is the position of Vestal Virgins. In ancient Rome,
are we seriously going to talk about like the Vestal Virgins as if this is...
That's not that weird. Is that weird?
It's literally just, you were a priestess of the goddess Vesta, and you were supposed to be
you got a special
virgin.
seat at public events.
You conducted prayers and you were a virgin because you were dedicated to the goddess Vesta, who is a goddess of eternal maidenhood. So we carry on.
Vestals were known to be the priestesses of the Roman goddess Vesta.
This is the most ironic fucking clip ever.
I know.
Literally Attia talking to Octavia in Rome after Attia's forced Octavia to sleep with Pompey Magnus, and they didn't end up getting married.
Yeah. This girl slept with so
literally the two biggest hoe bags in Rome.
Yeah.
Like, Octavia sleeps with her brother. She sleeps with everyone.
Yeah.
The goddess of the hearth, and were considered vital to the security of Rome. The duty of the Vestals was to keep the fire in the temple of Vesta burning. They believed that the failure to do so would lead to chaos in the empire. It was essential for the Romans that the Vestals were virgins.
You might touch the finish line, but you've never touched a woman.
You're right. I haven't lost my virginity.
This was obviously a drawback and a risk at the same time.
That's a real clip, I guess. Wow.
Of all the things to expect in an ancient Rome video, a clip from a Sonic TV show where Sonic makes fun of one of his villains for being a virgin might be
that's a high point.
The damn thing I never expected.
You've never touched a woman.
If they were to lose their virginity, they were usually mauled alive and then left to dehydrate, a truly brutal punishment. Other Vestals who broke any other vow, such as letting the temple fire go out, were beaten behind a curtain in the dark. However, the good in all this was that they were treated fairly well and given special game seats. So all in all, I would consider this job to be quite normal, especially considering that even modern monks and nuns still vow to abstain from any...
This is... I don't know why we're even talking about the Vestal Virgins. I wouldn't even consider that an occupation. They didn't get paid for what they did.
Yeah.
Like they would live in a special quarter where they were provided food and everything like that.
Yeah, they get an F for this F tier.
Yeah, they do get an F for this F tier. This is pretty weak sauce. Outside of like I definitely get what they're saying with like the nomenclature. Like, yes, that is a very unique and cool job, but it's not particularly like, wow, that I can't believe that they had that. I mean, it's one of those things where like, damn, I wish we had that now. That would make my life easy. Just have some weird dude that knows everybody in my life, so that way when I bump into somebody, I don't make an ass out of myself.
Sexual activity, although luckily the punishments today aren't nearly as harsh.
Denzel Washington does it again.
My fucking god, this is a 14-minute video, and we're
Now we enter the E tier with a rather interesting but kind of controversial job. In the ancient world, a funeral clown was common enough to leave behind records of clowns making fun of the dead at their own funeral.
Wait, what? A funeral clown? How is this the first I'm hearing it? You know what you could use?
Yeah.
You seem to be a bit down in the dumps. You could use a laugh. My dad just died. I say again, you could use a laugh.
Yeah. Is this part of that Roman grounded humility? Like always making sure that when one emotion got too extreme, that there was always a slave or somebody to kind of temper your mood.
The funeral clown is the freaking memento mori of social.
Yeah. How interesting, isn't it?
Oh God. All right.
These funeral clowns would mimic the behavior of the deceased. It wasn't just any behavior either. They specifically picked ones that made the deceased look bad. Of course, this was done in a funny way that wouldn't offend the audience, which was likely made up of friends and family who wouldn't tolerate actual slander.
I also love how they're like 3/4 of these clips are just these images are just pictures of the
Renaissance era.
No, it's not even just Renaissance era. They're all pictures of the character from Cask of Amontillado.
Oh yeah,
by Edgar Allan Poe. Like, that's who this guy is. I've seen this portrait before.
One amusing account from Suetonius, a Roman historian, tells of a funeral clown mocking Vespasian, the emperor famous for his role in building the Colosseum, for his stinginess. The funeral clown was said to have asked the crowd, while still pretending to be Vespasian, how much the
Vespasian stingy? Have you seen the Colosseum?
funeral would cost him. Considering that most of our modern death rituals are connected with immense grief, this might seem weird to many of you. However, I think the concept that a dead person gives his friends and relatives one last laugh through one of these clowns doesn't sound too bad.
Yeah.
In ancient Rome, asking the gods for help was common if one could not personally take revenge. A curse against their enemies was ordered by the hateful and the superstitious, the middlemen between the gods and the hateful person.
One of the most powerful scenes in Rome is easily when Servilia of the Junii is placing curses on all of the members of the House Julii. A very, very good scene. And that's what they're going to be talking about. I'm assuming that they're addressing the the priestess of the temples for the Furies and the gods below and what have you.
Were called curse tablet scribes. The entire day they would hear people's complaints of hate for others and the wrongdoings they had endured. They would take people's
therapists
requests for revenge and etch a curse onto a soft lead plate. Those curse tablets were believed to have influential power against the gods, and they would either be nailed to the wall of temples or rolled up, placed underground in graves, or thrown into wells or lakes. All manners of cruel punishments consisting of blindness, madness, and hopes of the enemy's intestines being eaten away would be wished for in those curses. The treatment done to the material was compared to what should be done to the target of the spell. The curses would be written backward if needed to be extra effective. That's definitely a weird custom, but considering nowadays people use fake Twitter accounts to insult other people, this concept doesn't seem too far-fetched.
Decent.
Now we are coming into the D tier featuring the fuller. Fulling is the process of cleaning clothes, especially wool, to remove oils, dirt, and other impurities and make them thicker. Ancient Roman times were popular for fulling by making the slaves stand ankle. So
this isn't really a particularly crazy job. Let's get to some of the good stuff here. Let's get to
Even today. However, I think that turning this waxing process into a public event at the bathhouse makes it a little weirder than it needed to be.
BK Royal Crispy Wraps. Eat it with the meal or have it as a snack. Only $2.90.
Now we enter the C tier, the perfect middle ground between somewhat normal jobs that are also pretty weird. Vicarious were the middle managers between their masters and their fellow slaves. And we're literally talking about real middle manager slaves who managed other slaves.
It just sounds like slavery with extra steps.
Ooh la la, someone's gonna get laid in college.
According to Vicky Leon, author of Working 9 to V, slave owners would buy slaves to serve as their body doubles at work and do their work for them. These vicarious would then be lived vicariously by their
Yes, you will be my body double and do my work.
It wasn't so bad of a gig either, since it turns out that some vicars would be given access to...
All right, here's where we get fun.
That's what you've all been waiting for.
The job everyone has been looking forward to, the Roman Orgy Planner. The planners were responsible for planning the perfect orgies and sex parties where guests freely partake in open and unrestrained sexual activities, including group sex.
Where's the Heather Antos image? Where's the milkshake crew?
Food, drinks, and music, as well as women. Those women could attend the orgy who were capable of making the event of utmost entertainment for the guests. The Greco-Roman world shared the party god Bacchus, lord of wine and ritual madness, and celebrated.
I love that. Like, they shared the god Bacchus. It's like, okay, cool. So you talked about the Latin name, But sure, don't mention that he's called Dionysus in Greek. Huh, pardon me.
Celebrated him with the Bacchanalia. Attendance of these parties had a tendency to really tap into that divine, crazy party energy and go around on a debauched, often violent sex spree.
This doesn't even seem like that much of like yes, everyone goes, oh, orgies and giggles like a bunch of immature girls because we all are.
Yeah.
But like really, this is just effectively an extension of what would now be a modern party planner.
An orgy. Legendary bisexual Alcibiades, an Athenian statesman, and his home.
How are you going to bring up Alcibiades in a video about Rome? He's dead.
Yeah.
He's like a solid 3 centuries dead.
Homies stole the dicks of hundreds of statues throughout Athens. However, the planners were
Yes, he did.
Despised, especially by the lower class, as they thought the entire event to be unnecessarily luxurious and expensive, or simply because they didn't get an invite themselves. All in all, the job must have been really funny, but I think I don't even have to explain why this job description might seem weird to some people. We start off the A tier with the position of Stercorarius, or to say it more bluntly, the shit collector.
Yeah, well, I mean, plumbing wasn't really a thing back then. Like, they had toilets, so it would make sense that you would have a guy that goes around and collects all the shit and gets rid of it, because you don't want that just piling up in the city. That's how you get plague. Like, that makes sense. You don't shit where you eat.
That is one big pile of shit.
Ancient Rome was famous for its aqueducts and toilets, innovations that were so advanced it would take centuries to see them return after the fall of Rome. What a lot of people forget is that a lot of these advanced services were available only for important public buildings. Think of the noisy bathhouse where the armpit plucker is trying to pluck your pits, or government buildings, regular residential areas where most people lived, not on the plumbing grid. That's why the Stercorarius had to go from house to house and collect people's shit from their cesspools, bucket by bucket and wagon by wagon. He then had to drag everybody's shit outside the city where he would sell it to farmers. For his troubles, the Stercorarius got 11 copper coins. Considering Rome's bumpy stone streets, it was...
Oh, man.
It's just like, yes, you collect everyone's shit. Here's 7 copper coins. Dude, I don't even know if you remember this, but when you're watching HBO's Rome, there's a scene where frickin' they bring in a doctor to operate on Titus Pullo, who's received this head injury, and Varenus is paying him, and he stops him at one point because one of the coins is clearly copper, and he goes, yeah, no, that's worthless. So it's
yes,
like,
I do remember. Yeah.
You do a terrible job that sucks, and you get paid even worse. Enjoy that.
Wasn't a rare occurrence for one of these shit wagons to literally flood the Stercorarius. So considering you were basically a personified toilet flush, this job was one of the weirder ones.
You're fucking kidding.
Welcome to the Eras Tour.
Oh, he's making his money.
Yeah, no kidding. Jesus.
The Urine
Christ.
Tax Collector was basically the big brother of the shit collector. As introduced by Emperor Nero, the urine tax was subsequently taken upon by his son Titus. Urine was widely
that's
used.
So clever. You made a fucking tide. I don't even have words.
Yeah.
In various chemical processes, such as extracting ammonia to clean and whiten clothes, soaking animal skin before tanning, and even using it as toothpaste. The urine would be summoned from public toilets.
I feel
and
like a whole
cesspools.
bunch of those.
When the finances of the Roman Empire had been crippled after nearly 2 years of civil war,
we're gonna go take a look at the chat real quick because.
Yeah, what do you guys think?
Let's see. Legendary bisexual is one hell of a title. Yeah, I mean, but that's Alcibiades for you. The guy literally just slept with anything that moves. He's a very interesting character in history. It attracts ants. This is why we can't have nice things. Tim, at least at least make it a different colored coin. Like, can we paint those copper coins silver so I'm not reminded of the copper colored piles I just hustled across Rome?
Clever. I don't know. Maybe it was a good day and you got green piles. Yellow. You can get a lot of different
The
colors.
empire and left his successor with a profit through the urine tax collection from the urine gathered at public restrooms. When Titus Vespasian's son blamed his father for applying the tax on urine, he held a piece of gold coin procured from the tax against his nose and replied, "Money does not stink."
That's like his mic drop
Position of
moment,
the
I
whipping
think.
boy was exactly as cruel as it sounds. The education of the royal children faced some difficulty in the 15th century, as education was enforced through punishments. The divine right of kings that stated God and the king's son appointed the kings was to be punished by no one, but the king brought the tutors into a dilemma. Hence, as a solution, the appointment of whipping boys was established. Another boy studying with the king's son, appointed by his son, would be punished if he misbehaved or did not do his homework.
Stay still!
In return,
So I don't think that this is an ancient Roman thing. This might have been, I don't know. I'd have to look into it. I mean,
yeah, this is new to me. This is interesting.
yeah, like this sounds that's a very middle age Europe practice. I don't recall that being much of a thing in ancient Rome, but I could be wrong.
In turn, the whipping boy was granted noble titles and estates for his service once he was an adult. The idea behind this was the hope of developing a bond between the two, leading to the royal infant behaving and studying well.
But it's always just like, well, thanks for getting your ass kicked because I did something wrong. That would really suck if that happened to me.
To end the whipping boy's misery. So while this job could provide you with titles and other rewards, it must be a horrible feeling to get a bloody punishment for the mistakes a stuck-up child of the royal family made.
Yeah, imagine getting a peerage just for
Orgy Planner.
getting beaten up as a kid.
So we're gonna end the video here. So that's kind of a lame video. I'm not gonna lie, a little bit disappointed. The thumbnail was more entertaining than the video was. I feel like we missed out on some much more interesting jobs that we could have talked about. Like the fact that there were like little motels where people would go and screw one another, and they would have a blind guy in charge of announcing like the time throughout the establishment, because that was how they would ensure the anonymity of their client of their client base.
That's fairly weird. That's at least a B class right there. That's better than some of those A's.
Yeah, there's some really cool stuff that you could have gone into with the Romans, but really the only thing that came across was the war chicken protector and the man who's responsible for everybody's names. Those are the two best ones on that list. That sucks.
And they were both F tier, weren't they?
Yeah, they were both F tier.
That's funny.
This is the friggin' flip your video around, you garbage wacko.
Yeah. He did the poo and the pee collectors. I mean, I feel like you gotta pick a lane, I think the pee is a little more interesting because that's actually a useful, you know what I mean? Like, maybe not a lot of people know how useful urine really was and could be, so there's a reason it was taxed.
100%. But anyways, the thing that really kind of brings us towards the end of the stream, real quick, I'm going to bring up the Judex campaign.
Yes. So you've been on some pretty big streams the last few weeks.
Much good it's done us. I mean, I appreciate everybody for having us. I don't mean to sound ungrateful or anything. It's been a very frustrating, to go from we made $6,000 in the first 48 hours, and then we got shadow banned by Indiegogo, and pretty much ever since then we have been kind of stonewalled in a gridlock. We've been fighting and pushing forward, and we're getting close to 10K, but like it's very frustrating because everybody on the project knows that had we not been shadow banned, we probably would have maintained the momentum and closed out the first week with 10 grand. And so it's very frustrating to know where we could have been by now if Indiegogo hadn't continuously screwed us over.
Yeah. And it's tough out there, like people are talking about the economy and all this. Like it's quite a hustle to get to not just get some visibility on your campaigns, but inspire people to. But look at these pages. I mean, this is
this is
clearly the best black and white comic that's being offered right now, and that has been offered in a long time.
Like the art's there, but then there's all this talk about how lackluster some of the storytelling is that you'll find in this community. But I mean, just you get to read a good chunk of these first 12 pages just on the campaign, and you get the city streets have been deprived from life, save for parasites who plunder her tattered virtue. Their laughter at your sheepish smile cannot belie her mournful sighs. As you turn your back on her and walk away, do you hear it too, I wonder? Like this stuff rings with a sort of poetry to it, and it's a shame because like everybody's clamoring for a book that tells a good story, that has the top tier art, and that has great value on its perk tiers, and we have everything. This book should be doing way more.
Absolutely, yeah. And in a lot of ways, it's kind of a superhero story, isn't it? Where there's this like dark angel who's like an avatar for the city and protecting it, and is tasked with being the enforcer of vigilante justice, right? To set the city back to rights. That's about it. That's the heartbeat. That's the beating heart of all of our favorite superhero stories. So
100%. But yeah, so we have 12 days left, so just under 2 weeks.
Plenty of time.
And we've even added some new tiers. There's some new original art tiers and some sketch cards that you can get of. So you can get a skunk artwork sketch card. We have a whole bunch of them on the campaign. He's done some great work. And then we also have his original art piece.
Oh, nice.
For 200. And then we still have one more of the full Judex.
Wow.
And then
that includes the mask. Wow.
Yeah. The full Judex is like everything. It's insane. And then like the best valued tier on this campaign is obviously the Fraternité tier. That gets you the main book, both of the variant covers that we have. We've got a beautiful Virgin holofoil cover by Erwin J. Rosa that's a homage to the Shadow, a shadow cover that was done by Alex Ross. And then we have an awesome glow in the dark cover by Russ Leach, where we have a spot gloss finish Eiffel Tower in the background. So you get those, you get the Le Marianne coin and the glow in the dark print by Rich Ayala, and then you also get a 12-page Ashcan crossover between Judex and the Black Terror, written by Von Klaus and drawn by the art done by the Black Terror team.
Wow.
Monica and Tiago. And on top of that, you get an additional metal mini print of that cover. And you get all of that for $50.
That's fantastic.
Yeah, like it's stellar. I mean, everything on this campaign, like our digital download, it's not just a digital comic. You get 3 months free to Global Comics. That's why there's only 50 of them. So you get our book, and then you get access to Global Comics, which has 3,000 titles on it, and you get 3 months of that for $10.
That's great. You're the first people to do that. I feel like you're the first creative team to really do that. That's amazing.
And then we have an El Guapo tier for people that just want the book. You can get the book, and if you're in the domestic United States, you pay $10, no shipping. So you're effectively getting the book for $5 with $5 shipping. That's all worked into that price there for you.
That's incredible.
And yeah, it keeps going from there. So if you haven't already backed, please make sure you back. If you can't back right now and you want to support us, remember sharing the link around always helps, especially since Indiegogo has done nothing but screw with our campaign and prevent us from reaching their audience. So, I mean, it is what it is, but we're just looking to push forward and looking forward to crossing 10K threshold on this. I do think that we can make that happen before we close.
Absolutely.
But yeah, and
it's a beautiful campaign.
And then I'm not going to be able to pull it up on here, but I did also recently announce that we will be rebooting Elysian Fields.
Yes.
I would pull it up, but actually, you know what? I might be able to. I think I shared it on Webtoon as well. Let's see if the laptop will allow me to do this. So, hold on. We are rebooting Elysian Fields with a new art team, and I'm redoing the script and lots of good stuff going on with that. So we announced that we were going to be rebooting it. So,
yeah, this is very exciting. So your art team they're bringing something different to the table this time. You're getting something that's a little more. I mean, would you say it's a little more? Yeah. Well, picture speaks 1,000 words. Look at this. It's just a little more, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. It's tremendous. And Corey and JP are going to be exceptionally happy because I swapped out Theseus on the team for Hippolyta, who's an Amazon. So we have like a sexy, warrior chick.
Yeah, that sells.
That rides a freaking undead mayor of Diomedes that's just absolutely horrifying, and it's great. And and then we obviously have Achilles and Heracles. And this is our team Hades, and it's going to be a great time. So
that's coming down the pike.
Johnny's going nice, very nice. Yes.
Mm-hmm.
But with that being said, we are at that hour mark just about. Matt, let them know where they can find you.
Yeah, just look for me on Twitter. That's where I'm posting terrible memes, horrifically cold takes, and updating people on Kyrie, which I'm a little frustrated. Like, all the books are just sitting at the printer right now. In my state, thankfully, but any day now. I'm there's
still
going to
waiting
be
for my box.
more books. Yes, your box is coming. Yours is at the top of the list. I've already got it basically packed. So
I know. I'm just giving you guff. That being said, make sure that you guys check Kyrie out as well. Absolutely fantastic book. I've read book 3. Matt, you should be absolutely fucking thrilled with yourself. It's so good. I know that we did the Kyrie special not too long ago, but like seriously, tip of the hat to you, sir. This is why I have the guy with me. Is he through that book he showcased his knowledge of this period and his love for it. So anyways, that being said, everybody, you have a good night. And remember, Rome may be gone in the physical world, but it lives on in our hearts. So
absolutely. Yeah, hail the chat. Y'all have a good night.